I would hear the silence of your love. Your voice speaks loud and clear. The constant chatter ceases. It's only you I hear. I find comfort in your presence and strength in what you say. 'Cause whatever path I choose to take, it's you who leads the way. In the silence, in the silence, in the silence.
Shanti, Sister Jayanti. Shanti, Sister Jayanti, can you hear me?
Very soft, very faintly.
Well, I just descended from subtle regions. So anyway, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can, thank you. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I missed you. It was great. Thank you for giving your time from there. I'd just like to start with a poem from Rumi, which is about love and love between I and God, God and I. Some call you love. I call you the king of love. You are beyond all imaginings, taking me places I can't even dream of. You're taking me places I can't even dream of. Oh, ruler of my heart, wherever you go, don't go without me. And anyway, I want to take up the aspect of having this blood of remembrance run through your veins later, but I thought, yeah, it's a lovely quote. Thank you, Sister Jayanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Arunaben. And yes, it's lovely to be joining you from Shantivan, Madhuban. And they're in the preparations for the big annual meeting that's going to happen tomorrow. And the agenda is going to be finalized just tonight. So there seems to be a rhythm in India. The things happen at the end. I remember once we'd asked Dadi Kumarka about this. How come things happen at the last minute? And she said, well, you know, Shiv Baba also only comes at the last minute of Kali Yuga. And so everything in Sangam Yuga continues with that pattern of last minute. So I thought that was a very sweet answer that she gave us. And yes, yesterday's Murli was one of love. And Baba was obviously very much concerned about the new ones who had come to Madhuban for the first time. And Baba spoke about the love that brings us to Madhuban and how for those who say, my Baba, Baba is mine, Baba also responds saying, yes, I am yours and you are mine. And so that relationship of love, Baba spoke about how when there is this recognition, this awareness that comes, and it may even come for children who have not met Baba at all this kalpa, but it's the memory that's recorded and the memory that's triggered on meeting Baba, and then the words come from the heart, I belong to you and you belong to me. And so when there is this connection of love, then there's also remembrance with love. And in that remembrance with love, there is also power. And when we forget, then there's weakness, then there's waste. And so Baba's saying, let every thought be filled with power. Let every thought and word and action be filled with that same strength and power that comes from Baba. So nothing at all is wasted on any level. And this is the way to become really, really powerful. And of course, yes, Baba spoke about the blood that flows through your veins, and let the remembrance of Baba be that way, filled with passion, filled with love, absolutely not going anywhere else at all. And so Baba also spoke about how there's such a big difference between the love that comes from the heart and the love that comes just simply through understanding and knowledge. And in that case, we would say it comes more from the head. And when it comes from the heart, it's natural, it's continuous, and it carries on without a break. And it makes everything in life seem so easy and natural. And all relationships are experienced in a very natural way. On the other side, when it comes from the head, just simply on the basis of knowledge, without that passionate experience of love, then sometimes there's remembrance, sometimes there's forgetfulness. And of course, when it's only from the head, then because love and remembrance is intermittent, it's not continuous, then it also means that sometimes the path seems to be a little tough, a little hard, not so easy to follow through. And so Baba's saying that just check what is the quality of your love. And to whatever extent you say, my Baba, with love from your heart, to that extent, your bhagats in the future are also going to say, my deity. And if my love isn't like that, then it'll also be a little bit on the periphery for the bhagats. Maybe they worship me, maybe they don't. And I'm not sure how many of you are thinking that far ahead into the copper age. But yes, it's a fact that whatever happens now, the results are through the rest of the cycle, not only for the 21 births, but also further beyond, definitely. And so can I just check myself and see what is the quality of my love? And if my love isn't from my heart at this moment, it's okay, because I can experiment with the things that Baba has told me. And so not just then the Jnani aspect of mother and father and teacher and guide and beloved, just in terms of theory, but to really come back to that awareness and that feeling of Baba, truly my beloved, Baba, truly my mother and father, Baba, truly my child. And so I can't just say that, well, I'm an intellectual person and everything's in my head, and so how do I get into my heart? But no, it's possible. And somebody spoke about how the greatest distance is between the head and the heart. It's only in inches, in physical terms, but in reality, in our lives, it is a huge, huge mileage. And so can I remove that distance and step back into that consciousness of experiencing things from my heart? And also, Baba then said, if you have that experience, then of course you also feel God's hand of protection on your head. And Baba was talking especially to the new ones at that point. And so when Baba said, feel God's hand of blessings on your head, and I was thinking that it's actually the hand of Srimat. Baba doesn't have a physical hand, but if I keep Srimat in my mind, in my heart, in my head, then truly Baba's canopy of protection is above me and around me, and I'll always stay safe in the way Baba mentioned. And that means not just external safety, but it actually means safe from Ravan, safe from the illusions of Maya. I'll be protected from all of that. And then Baba also spoke about how Baba is the one who's giving continually, and everyone is God's child, not just a few, not just a handful, not even just those who are sitting in front of him, but the whole world is one family and God's children. And so as soon as a child says, yes, I belong to you, and feels Baba's response of, you belong to me, then from that moment, the child has a right to all attainments. And Baba wants every child to have all attainments, the full inheritance. But again, it becomes number-wise. And Baba is never tired of giving, but the children seem to get tired of taking. And the reason why we're unable to take everything that Baba's offering is because we're not using what Baba has given us already. And so just a short reflection on that. Say, for example, I want peace and I love Baba, and I say to Baba, Baba, I really want my mind to be completely peaceful, completely non-violent. I will feel that inheritance of peace and non-violence come to the soul, and I will also then be able to give others that experience of peace. But where I say to Baba, yes, I want peace, and I take it and I just keep it locked up inside of me, instead of giving it, sharing it, then I'm not going to be able to progress, but rather I'll get totally stuck. But when I use what Baba has given me, so that in my practical life, I'm actually able to remain with Baba, peaceful and non-violent, others around me will learn to do the same. If I'm peaceless, there's no way I can inspire anyone else to be peaceful. And so it has to be leading by example, leading by doing, not just speaking. And so what Baba wants us to do is to take everything, and having taken everything, then to give it, to use it. Baba said, use it for yourself or use it for others. So again, for example, here's somebody who's creating a bit of a stir, and I'm there watching all of this. Well, can I stay peaceful and detached even as I see whatever it is that's going on? And if either party wants me to join in, then yes, let me join in and share whatever it is I've perceived. But most times when there are two protagonists, antagonists, then at that moment, they don't ask for help from anyone outside, but I'm watching it, I'm observing it. And I'm not letting my peace get disturbed, but rather I'm sharing those good vibrations of peace. I'm not letting myself get disturbed on any level, but I'm just sharing peaceful vibrations so that whatever was the interaction can calm down and settle down here and now. They may never acknowledge that it's me that's giving them that peace, but that's okay. I'm not doing it for recognition. I'm doing it because I'm God's child. I've taken so much from God. Can I now serve and give it to others also? And so I need to be able to take the treasures, but also use them in my life for myself, but also with which to be able to serve others. And so it was a very, very important part of Baba's teaching. And Baba saying that you all know that on the physical level, if you give, then what happens is that whatever was your stock is reduced. But in this, I'm not sure where this wonderful sound effect is coming from, but I'm sure it'll become silent. It's become silent. Thank you. So the usual system, whatever I have, if I give to another, then it's going to mean that a little of my stock is reduced. But in this case, the more I give the treasures that Baba has given me, the more my own treasures multiply, and I'm able to see how that works in my life. And then Baba speaking to the new ones about the hand of blessings on their head and the hand of protection. And then Baba spoke to the teachers, and Baba reminding the teachers of their fortune. And when I was reading, Baba say that you are the hero actors who are on the world stage. And so wherever it is, you are an instrument. You are the ones who are showing others, and others are watching. And so you're the example. You're the server who serves through your example. And that is what is meant by a teacher. And because you're on the stage and everyone is watching, you have to be that extra cautious and extra attentive. And in return, Baba gives you many blessings. And so you claim blessings from those who you serve and care for, but you also receive blessings from Baba every day at Amrit Vela. And so that idea that whatever I do, I'm on a stage, many others are watching, which is a fact. If you live in a center, then you know how absolutely true this is. I remember a few years ago, a brother saying in one of our teachers' meetings in Madhuban, well, I feel like I'm a fish in a bowl. And so the goldfish that everybody is looking at and watching, and I can just imagine what that feeling must be, that I swim here, I swim there, wherever I swim, but there's people all around just watching. And so he said that it was a lot of stress to think about it like this. So Baba put it more beautifully. It's not stress. Yes, you're playing a beautiful role on the stage. And of course, the word hero has that double sense. In English, it's the main actor on the stage. And in Hindi, hero, hira means the diamond. And so you are the ones who have the fortune of becoming diamonds. And so keep increasing your fortune, make it 100-fold, make it 1,000-fold, make it hundreds of thousands-fold, make it 1,000,000-fold. Just create as much fortune as you choose. So a lovely message of support and upliftment for all teachers. And then Baba was speaking to the different groups that had come from abroad. Very definitely it was a time when there seemed to have been lots and lots of Baba's children from all over the world gathered there. And so Baba, first of all, asking about whether, yes, you love Baba, but do you also love the family? And the memorial of the family is the garland, the rosary. And Baba, of course, being a jeweler, knew all about garlands and rosaries. And so Baba saying that if two beads are a little bit apart and you see the thread in between the beads, then it's considered not such a good piece of jewelry. In fact, nobody would buy it, nobody would wear it. But the beads of a rosary or a garland actually are absolutely close together, absolutely side by side. And so, no, you don't have to have yoga with the family, but you have to be close to the family so that that closeness, and yes, of course, the thread is a thread of love and respect, but that closeness to each other is what Baba wants to see. And if you say to Baba, well, I didn't come because of the family, I came just simply for you, the Baba would say, but you're my child and you're part of a big family. And so you can't come to Satyug without being part of the family today. And so learn to see specialities, learn to see the goodness of each one. Know that each one is number wise, but that's okay. God is able to say that's fine. And so we also have to say that's fine, number wise, but yet the beads that are part of the rosary, absolutely close together. And to the trained eye, they can also see, are all the beads of equal diameter? And if they're not, if there's a bead that's too big or too little, it's set aside. And so everyone following the Father and becoming Bap Saman, and that is what makes us equal to each other, not a dependency, not a state that is a little bit of mixture of pure love and not so pure love, but most of all, that state in which there's that dignity. And so Baba was saying, have faith in yourself, have faith in the drama, have faith in the Father. And so in that state of inner dignity, you can come very, very close to each other, because then you're recognizing the qualities of each other and you're able to be very, very much part of that rosary, that family. And then Baba reminded those from abroad how fortunate they were that as soon as they come to Baba, and in those days, lots and lots of centers were mushrooming all over the world. And so Baba said, as soon as you come, you step into the field of service. Or you even then go off to a new place and start a center in a new country. This was continually happening through that period. So don't complain that you're too busy. Rather see it as fortune. It's keeping you out of mischief. It's keeping you away from waste thoughts. And so just simply remember that in Sangam Yuga, every moment of yours is valuable and worthwhile. And so, yes, you've got your job. Yes, you've got to think about your stage. Yes, you've got to think about service. And so here you are juggling with all of these different things in your life. But that's okay. It's keeping you busy. It's keeping you on the straight and narrow. And anyway, everything that you have, you've surrendered to Baba. And so even if now you don't see it, but your money is going towards fortune, creating the center, keeping the center functioning, and all the blessings from those who are served from there are going to be reaching you. And so your body, your mind, your wealth, just simply remember that all of this is for Baba, for service of others. And so very, very lovely Murli. And there was, of course, another final passage also that Baba spoke to another group. But there's one more thing that I want to pick up on. just in the 5 minutes before the further questions. And that is the whole subject of the subtle region and the three angelic forms. And the interpretation that Mama gave today was very lovely. Not only is it that God comes and starts slowly, slowly doing what he needs to do, God comes and instantly coming with him are Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar. And these are the subtle deities, which means that they're very different to the Brahma of the physical dimension, the father of the people who had a role to play here on earth. His subtle form was visible to trance messengers even before he left this physical form. And so I'm here, but there's a subtle form, my own angelic form in the subtle region. And so when I think about it with a logic intellect or an ordinary intellect or a gross intellect, how can I be there and here at the same time? But we're talking about subtle entities, subtle beings. And so my angelic form is definitely there in the subtle region, which is what Baba would ask trance messengers, what's the difference between this one and that one? And they would come back and tell Baba, because it was a very sincere desire he had in his heart to know so that he could make effort. And so we don't have trance messengers who can check that for us. But my point is that here in the physical dimension, we had the father of the people, but this being then flew back to the subtle region, and in the subtle region is playing that role of the angel that is supporting and guiding us through everything at this moment. So the three angelic forms all at the same time, you know, when twins are born and you tease them and you ask them, well, who's the elder one? And one of them will laugh and say, well, I'm 5 minutes older, or I'm 10 minutes older, whatever it is. But in this case, no, Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar are absolutely the same age. No difference at all. God comes and he comes ready to start his work instantly. And so Dada Lekra just given the vision of the better world, that he is then assigned the duty, the task of actually establishing it. He has a vision of Vishnu, the four-armed figure, the one who's able to sustain. And he has a vision of Shankar in the sense of the destruction of the old and then giving way and the new souls coming down. And nature plays its part beautifully, putting things together for the new world. And so, end of the old, beginning of the new, all that happens. And Baba's given that awareness right from the beginning. And even today, Baba said to us, Tattvam, the same blessing applies to you also. May you be the same. And so, essentially, the Murli was of love, making us understand the value of the love from the heart in terms of yoga, and where it's just love from the head, just the theory, the philosophy, rather than the actual experience. So let's move into the next phase, that of questions. Om Shanti.
Thank you, gentlemen. Always this eternal question, the subtle regions. I'd like to take up this aspect of the closeness in the beads. So what exactly does Baba mean when he says close? I understand that he means there has to be harmony, but anything else? What does Baba mean by close? And also because I feel sometimes we're such a huge family and we meet, but we're not literally close to everyone. We're aware of other members of the family in other parts of the world. But, and also, yes, Baba doesn't want us to get attached. So what does he mean by close?
If you think about the Dadis, and it's a perfect example because they actually achieved that closeness. And what you would see within them was a very similar way of looking at a situation. So their perspective was very similar. Their responses would be very similar. So their way of thinking and their way of solving a situation was very, very close. It was very similar. You wouldn't get a different answer from Didi Manmohini and a different answer from Dadi Prakashmani, but their thinking was very aligned. And so closeness means that alignment. Otherwise, if you look at a situation like this, and I look at a situation like that, and we don't know how to marry those two opposites, then it's very difficult to live together. But the Dadis didn't just see one side, they always saw both sides. And so they were able to come together and flex with each other and adjust with each other, and it would work out very beautifully. So, and the guiding light for them, of course, was, what did Baba say? What did Baba do? And so following the father, following the mother, then that became the guideline for them that they observed in their life that made them very close. So it isn't that they were saying, I want to be like you in the sense of comparison, but they were saying, I want to be like Baba. And so when you and I both think at all times, I want to be like Baba, then our thinking comes together in a natural way. Even though their sanskars, their personalities were quite different, but their responses to situations was, what would Baba say? What would Baba do? And so then there was that alignment.
Right, thank you, gentlemen. I think there's some delay. I don't know from where. The other thing was about relationships based on knowledge and relationships based on love. So, of course, gentlemen, we need knowledge to understand Baba. So is it a process of moving from the understanding to the love? Because there was so much love in Bhakti, but there was no understanding. So surely understanding plays some part in the love too.
I think it's a question of which one comes first in terms of my own personality. And if you think about, again, the Dadis, there was very little gyan at the beginning, but it was somehow the attraction of the heart and that recognition through the third eye. And the heart, of course, is in the soul. So the soul recognizing Baba, I belong to you, finished, that's it. And then gradually the understanding came. And so for them, it really, truly was this, the example that Baba gave in Bhakti. They say, wherever I look, I see only you. I eat with you, I sit with you, I talk to you. And so for them, it really was that, just the pure love that was reaching them, and they surrendered. And for a person like myself, I knew Brahma Baba and felt a huge amount of love for him and from him, but I wasn't ready for anything until I actually understood Gyan. And once I understood Gyan, that's it. Then there was such a passionate love that I was just ready to surrender within the matter of weeks. And so I see that this is why I was saying that even if at the moment I feel that my love is from the head and not from the heart, it's okay. Start experimenting and feeling that state of love in which really it's only you and Baba's giving you everything that you need. And the relationships are Bap Dada. Very difficult to think about Shiv Baba, the pinpoint of light, and being my beloved, but very easy to think about Brahma Baba, the beloved, the Bap Dada, not just Brahma Baba, but of course Bap Dada. Shiv Baba coming and expressing all his qualities through this amazing instrument. And so when you have a conversation in the subtle region, it's with Bap Dada, and you're talking to Baba, and Baba is your father, your mother, your friend, your beloved, your guide. Baba is everything for you. And that then takes you into that dimension where it's just pure love. And now you, the soul, are with Shiv Baba in Param Dham, and you are in your eternal pure state of just the soul. And that's what Baba was speaking about when he said, do you feel you are the embodiment of peace, the embodiment of silence, that sweet experience in which you feel you've attained everything? So the relationships are a way to be able to experience love, and that is able to carry you beyond the subtle region to that dimension, which is the dimension of silence, that state of your own original state of being.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jayanti. And this aspect Baba was saying, are you just accumulating or are you actually using it? So I thought I thought that would be nice to clarify. How can people use their stock? And sometimes, Jen, when people, I think, don't realize what is the stock they have, because many times when I see new students and they have, certain specialities, they don't see it as a speciality. And we just know that if they could use that for Baba, they'd be earning so much. So how to recognize that I have a stock, and then how to actually use it, go about using it.
I gave the example of peace, and how if I fill myself with peace, then it's not just for me, but it's to use in my life, to use in my actions, and to contribute to others. And so now think about a new student, and the example is a very good one. And I remember somebody many years ago asking me, after they'd come back from Madhuban and they were on their way to another country, because London was the sort of stopping point, the transit point, before they went on. And so just in that short time that they had in London, there was an opportunity to sit with them. And they said, Baba told me, make others like yourself. So what does that mean? And that person had a very high profile, but I just started with basic things. Well, you're a brother, and you know that there's not so many brothers in Gyan, at least in some countries. And so, yes, think about all the brothers you know and how they would benefit from all these teachings. You're into sports. Think about the sports that you play and the stress and tension that the sports people have. And so give them Gyan and make them like yourself. So you're a father, you're a husband. Think about the fathers and the challenges they have with their children. And so reach out to them and share with them. So whatever is my personal situation is a resource that I can draw upon when I come to Baba. The country you live in, early days, it would be that people took Gyan, and within a month, within 3 months, they said, I have to go back home, but I'm going back not just to meet my family, I'm going back to see if others are interested in Gyan and to start a center. So it happened in a very practical way, all of this. So firstly, just think about all the external resources you have and how to be able to use them to bring souls to God. And then further on, see what is it that Baba has given you already. and you'll begin to think about the peace you've experienced, the love that you've experienced, the purity, the truth. And you say, others also are in need of this. Can I share some jewels with another so that they can also experience the joy, the love, the purity that I've been experiencing? And so that awareness of what I have and what it is I can use, body, mind, wealth. I have an intellect that has a lot of experience. Now, can I apply that in service? I have wealth. Well, there's plenty of service I can do with that also. So let me find out, not just at my center what the need is, but Madhuban, what is the need there? Maybe the world. There are many centers maybe that, especially after COVID, are struggling. And so just to be able to use all that I have physically, but all that I have spiritually in a worthwhile way is what Baba's talking about.
Yes, lovely. Thank you, gentlemen. And I must admit that I very often used to feel like that fish in the fishbowl that you talked about. And I just want to take up this question of, it's fortune, but at the same time, you don't really realize how much fortune. And so what would be your, how would you inspire young ones to become teachers? Because not everybody wants to take up running the center anymore, gentlemen. They think it's hard work, and a lot of flack because you're in the front line and you're always being attacked and looked at. So how to inspire young ones to take up the responsibility and to become that hero?
Well, the first step is that I just love the gyan that Baba's given me, and it's made such a difference to my life. And so can I think about the people I know who definitely would benefit from the knowledge? And I start talking to them and sharing with them the things that I've now understood that have helped me. And I know that there's a very fine line between the intoxication in which you start talking about Satyuga is coming very soon, and don't do that. Don't talk to people about that. Talk to them about what is relevant for them, what is going to be useful for them. Don't talk to them about past births and rebirth if that's a different philosophy to what they're used to. Don't talk about karma, definitely. Don't talk about karma in the first instance. It'll come later, everything step by step. Talk to them about soul, talk to them about how to channel the energy of the mind, how to uplift the self, how to help others be uplifted. 1,000 things that you can talk about just in terms of the knowledge of Atma, the soul. And so when you start thinking about serving rather than any label of teacher or anything like that, no. I needed all of these things and it's helped me so much. Can I now share these with others? And you'll get such a beautiful feeling when you see their faces light up and they say, "Ah, I never thought about it like that. Ah, this makes sense." That aha moment when suddenly the light gets switched on. So when you see that sort of response, it's a great stimulus to continue to serve. And if at times you don't see that response, it's okay. Just remember that each one has their own part in the drama. And if not now, later, they will definitely remember Baba at some point. And so I see sharing Gyan is beautiful. We have sisters who come and tell us, I've been used to cooking in the temple for 100 people. And so I can help here also. And we would say to them, okay, follow the principles for 6 months, and then yes, you're welcome to come and help in the cooking. But before that, you can help in the cleaning of the vegetables, the preparation of the vegetables. There's a lot of work that happens quite apart from just simply cooking. There's a whole preparation before that. So just see what skills they have and what they would like to do for Baba. And so once they start, then service gets into your blood. You can't stay without doing service.
Yes, it's like once somebody has tasted that, then there's no real going back. Okay, so we'll take a few questions because Sister Jayanti has to leave early. So one of the questions is, Jayanti, that some senior teacher has given some class somewhere, and they have said that Dadi Gulzar has not taken birth yet. So this person is asking, is it true or not?
I take my guidance from Baba's direct statements. And the first one that comes to mind is that when Mama left, Baba was very aware that it was a very sensitive issue for many of the souls who had taken such close sustenance from Mama. And so Baba didn't reveal that she has taken another birth. So Mama left June 24th, 1965. And it was only at the end of March 1968 that Baba revealed that Mama has taken another birth. Number 2 soul has taken birth. So what about number 3, number 4, number 5? They're not going to be ahead of the number 2, right? And this was directly at that time with Sakar Baba. Yes, Mama has taken another birth. The other thing that I'm totally aware of is that in that period of 13 days when Dadi Gulzar was carrying bhog to Baba every day, and sometimes Baba would come, sometimes there would be a very detailed message that would be shared. And in one particular message during that immediate period, the message was that Dadi saw this clock going around, the hands moving very slowly. And she saw souls coming from up above and joining the souls who were already here. And so whoever came down stayed down, nobody went back up again. And then at the confluence age, just that short transition period from old to new, Baba showed her one soul step out of the cycle, the clock, and be with Shiv Baba. And Shiv Baba's Baptada's explanation of all that was that, yes, all the souls who come down continue to take birth and rebirth, and the cycle continues, time ticks on. But there's one soul, and only one, who actually becomes like God, in that he's able to step out of the cycle and stay out of the cycle till it's time to go home. And that is the soul of Brahma. And this is why we were able to experience Bap Dada, Shiv Baba, Brahma Baba, both of them coming together for 49 years, I think. We were about to celebrate Dadi Gulzar's 50th year as a chariot for Baba, but she had to go to Bombay for her health, and then she never came back to Madhuban physically. And so that celebration never happened. And it's like Dadi Jayanti, she didn't want a big fuss about her. And I'm sure Dadi Gulzar didn't want a big fuss about herself, because she'd say, it's Baba's work, so I was just an instrument. But anyway, my point there that it's a fact that Brahma Baba with Shiv Baba has stepped out of the cycle, and Baba categorically said, this is the only one who is with Shiv Baba and is not in that cycle and is waiting to go home. And meanwhile, now he's supporting all of you children and is giving you lots and lots of help in many different ways. So these are the two things that convince me completely that no matter how elevated the Dadis have been, we heard Daddy Prakash Mani took another birth. We got a lot of detailed information. We heard Didi, again the same, that she also had taken rebirth, Dada Vishwakishore, rebirth. And so Dadi Jayanti, yes, definitely. Some souls don't like me saying this, but I'm just thinking about now here, if I just let my heart speak, then I'd say, oh, how can Dadi have taken another birth? Dadi Gulzar, so pure, how could she have taken another birth? But Gyan tells me that, yes, Dadi Jayanti and Dadi Gulzar have taken another birth, as with all the other Dadis and the Dadas. That's why Baba keeps telling us that the advance party has become very, very powerful and is doing so much service so that things can be speeded up. And the only thing that they're waiting for, Baba, Shiv Baba, Brahma Baba, and the advance party, is for us to get ready.
Yes, thank you, gentlemen. That was very clear. So I think everybody can share this message to others in case there's any doubt. So we will let you go, Sister Jayanti. Thank you so much.
So
And,
thank you for being flexible. Good. Okay. Om Shanti. Enjoy the rest of your time together and we'll meet next week. Om Shanti.
So we're just going to have meditation now, a little extra meditation, and then the usual sharing of drishti afterwards. Okay? Thank you, everyone.
सूरज तारे नभ से रोशनी करते जहां